He never thought this day would come. For most of his life, flying was stressful for him. Long lines. Small seats. Loud people. Crying babies. He always booked the cheapest ticket because money was tight. Every dollar mattered. But this flight was different. This time, he had worked extra hours. Late nights. Missed weekends. He saved little by little. No fancy food. No new clothes. Just saving. And finally, he did it. He booked his first ever first-class ticket. When he saw the confirmation email, he read it 3 times. He could not believe it. C2A. First class. Even now, sitting at the airport gate, he kept checking his phone. Then his printed ticket. Again and again. He was scared something might go wrong. He looked around the gate area. People were sitting everywhere. Some looked tired. Some looked angry. Some looked important. He felt out of place. He wore simple clothes. Clean, but nothing special. Just jeans and a plain shirt. No fancy watch. No designer bag. He told himself, it's okay. A ticket is a ticket. Still, he felt nervous. This was his first time flying first class. He had heard stories. Big seats. Free food. Quiet space. Respect. But he also knew something else. People judge. He picked a seat near the window and waited. Boarding would start soon. He tried to relax, but his hands were slightly shaking. That's when he noticed her. She was standing near the gate desk. Tall. Perfect hair. Expensive clothes. Large sunglasses, even inside the airport. Her arms were crossed tight against her chest. She looked angry, for no reason. She kept checking her watch. Tapping her foot. Sighing loudly. At first, he ignored her. But then, he felt her eyes on him. She looked at him once. Then again. Then she looked at his bag. Then at his ticket. Her face changed. Her lips pressed together tightly. Something about her stare made him uncomfortable. He looked away. Don't overthink, he told himself. But the feeling stayed. A few minutes later, an announcement played. First-class passengers may begin boarding shortly. His heart started beating faster. This was it. He stood up slowly, holding his ticket carefully, like it might disappear. That's when the woman moved closer. She stopped right in front of him. Too close. He could smell her strong perfume. She looked him up and down. Slowly. Like she was judging every part of him. Then she spoke. Her voice was sharp. Are you sure you're in the right place? He blinked. Yes, he said politely. I'm flying first class. She laughed. Not a friendly laugh. A short, rude laugh. Oh please, she said. You don't look like first class. His face felt warm. I have a ticket, he replied, still calm. She leaned closer and tried to look at his boarding pass. That must be a mistake, she said. People like you usually sit in the back. A few people nearby started listening. He felt embarrassed, but he stayed quiet. He did not want trouble. I pay for the seat, he said softly. C2A. Her eyes widened. For a second, he thought she might explode. Impossible, she snapped. That's my seat. She pointed a finger at him. You need to move before boarding starts. His heart dropped. Was she right? Did something go wrong? He looked at his ticket again. C2A. First class. Still the same. I think there's a mistake, he said. But my ticket says. She cut him off. I fly first class all the time, she said loudly. I know how this works. More people were watching now. Phones were out. Whispers started. He hated attention. He hated conflict. He almost said sorry, even though he did nothing wrong. Then she said something that made everything worse. You probably got upgraded by mistake, she said. Be honest. Did you beg the agent? That hurt. He took a deep breath. No, he said. I paid. She rolled her eyes. Sure you did. The boarding announcement played again. Final call for first-class passengers. She smiled like she had already won. Well, she said, when the gate agent comes, this will be fixed. She crossed her arms and waited. He felt a knot in his stomach. This was supposed to be a happy moment. Instead, his first-class dream was turning into a nightmare. He looked at the gate desk. The agent was typing on her computer. He wondered if he should go explain. But before he could move, the woman raised her voice. Gate agent, she shouted. This man is trying to steal my seat. The entire gate went silent. Every eye turned toward them. The agent looked up and started walking toward them. The man swallowed hard. He held his ticket tightly. He had no idea. This was only the beginning. The man could feel every eye on him. The woman stood beside him like she owned the place. Her chin was high. Her arms were crossed tight. She looked confident, almost proud. Like this was not her first time doing this. The gate agent stopped in front of them. Yes, the agent asked calmly. Before the man could speak, the woman jumped in. This man is sitting in my seat, she said loudly. I want him removed before boarding. Her voice was strong and clear. No doubt. No fear. The agent looked at the man. Sir, may I see your boarding pass? His hands were shaking slightly as he handed it over. The woman smiled. She was already sure she had one. While the agent checked the ticket, the woman leaned closer to the man. You should have stayed quiet, she whispered. Now this will be embarrassing for you. He did not reply. He just waited. The agent typed something on her screen. Her face stayed neutral. Hard to read. The woman tapped her foot. She looked around at the people watching. This always happens, she said loudly. They let anyone into first class these days. A few people frowned. Others just watched. The man felt small. He wanted to disappear. The agent looked up. Ma'am, she said to the woman, may I also see your boarding pass? The woman sighed like this was a waste of her time. She pulled out her phone slowly, very slowly. She showed the screen with confidence. Here, she said. First class. Like always. The agent looked carefully. Then she looked again. Her eyebrows moved slightly. The man noticed. The woman noticed too. What? The woman asked. Is there a problem? The agent did not answer right away. She typed again. The silence felt heavy. Very heavy. The woman started talking again. I paid extra, she said. I always pay extra. I deserve comfort. Not this nonsense. She looked at the man. And honestly, she added, he looks like economy. That crossed a line. The man felt anger rise in his chest. But he stayed calm. He said nothing. The agent finally spoke. Sir, she said to the man, thank you for your patience. Then she turned to the woman. Ma'am, she said slowly, please step aside with me. The woman laughed. Why, she said. Just tell him to move. The agent's voice stayed firm. Please step aside. The woman's smile faded for a moment. But she still believed she was right. She followed the agent a few steps away. People leaned forward in their seats. They wanted to hear. The agent lowered her voice, but it was still clear. Ma'am, your ticket is not first class. The woman froze. What? She said sharply. Your seat is 23B, the agent continued. Economy. The woman's face turned red. That's impossible, she snapped. Check again. I already did, the agent replied. The woman shook her head. No. No. This is wrong. Fix it. The agent stayed calm. There is nothing to fix. The woman raised her voice again. You people always mess things up, she said. I demand an upgrade. The agent's eyes hardened. Upgrades are not automatic, she said. And they are not given because someone demands them. The man watched from a distance. His heart was still racing. Was this really happening? The woman turned back toward him. She pointed at him. Then take his seat, she said. He clearly doesn't belong there. A quiet gasp moved through the crowd. The agent shook her head. That seat is legally his. The woman's control started to break. This is ridiculous, she yelled. I will not sit in economy. Her voice echoed through the gate. People whispered. Some shook their heads. The agent took a deep breath. Ma'am, she said firmly, you need to lower your voice. The woman laughed again. A loud, angry laugh. Or what? She asked. The agent reached for her radio. The man's stomach dropped. He knew one thing for sure now. This situation was no longer small. And it was about to get much worse. The gate area felt smaller now. Not because people moved closer, but because tension filled the air. Everyone could feel it. Even people pretending to look at their phones were listening. The woman stood stiff. Her face was tight. Her lips were shaking, but she tried to hide it. She hated losing control. The man stayed where he was. He did not move. His heart was beating fast, but his feet felt heavy, like they were glued to the floor. The gate agent still held the radio in her hand. For a few seconds, no one spoke. Then the woman broke the silence. You can't do this to me, she said. Her voice was lower now, but full of anger. I have important meetings. I need first class. The agent looked at her calmly. Ma'am, many people have important reasons to travel, she said. That does not change seat assignments. The woman laughed, but this time it sounded forced. You expect me to sit next to strangers? She said. In a small seat? She looked around like she was waiting for support. No one helped her. The man felt a strange mix of fear and relief. He was no longer alone. The agent turned to the man again. Sir, can you please confirm your name for me? He nodded and said his name clearly. The agent typed again. Click. Click. The sound felt loud in the silence. The woman leaned forward. This is taking too long, she said. Just make him move. The agent did not look at her. She kept typing. Then she looked up. Sir, she said, everything on your ticket is correct. The man let out a breath he did not know he was holding. The woman's eyes widened. What? She shouted. That makes no sense. She stepped closer to the agent. This is discrimination, she said. You're taking his side. The agent stood straight. I am taking the side of the ticket system, she replied. People in the waiting area started whispering louder now. Some shook their heads. A man nearby muttered, Wow. The woman pointed at the man again. He probably used points, she said. People like him always find a way. The man felt his jaw tighten. But still, he stayed silent. The agent raised her hand. That is enough, she said firmly. The woman froze. No, the agent continued, you do not get to insult other passengers. The woman's face turned pale. No one had ever stopped her like this before. She tried to smile, but it failed. Look, she said, changing her tone, "Can we just fix this quietly?" The agent shook her head. "Your behavior is already on record," she said. The woman swallowed hard. "What does that mean?" she asked. "It means," the agent said, "you need to calm down and follow instructions." The woman's voice cracked. "I paid money," she said. "I deserve respect." The agent nodded slowly. "And so does everyone else here." The man felt something change. The power in the room shifted. The woman felt it too. She took a step back. Then suddenly, she raised her voice again. "This is unfair," she shouted. "I demand a supervisor." The agent pressed a button on her radio. "Supervisor to gate 14, she said calmly. The woman's eyes widened. She did not expect that. The crowd went silent again. Waiting. Watching. The man looked at the woman. For the first time, she looked unsure. This fight was no longer in her control. And whatever happened next would decide everything. The supervisor arrived quietly. No rush. No noise. But the moment people saw the badge, they knew this was serious. The woman straightened her back fast. She fixed her hair. She forced a smile, like she was meeting someone important. "Finally," she said loudly. "Someone who can fix this mess." The supervisor looked at the gate agent first. "What's going on?" he asked calmly. The agent explained everything. Slowly. Clearly. No emotion. Just facts. The woman kept shaking her head while listening, like the story was fake. "That's not true," she said as soon as the agent stopped. "She's lying." The supervisor turned to the woman. "Ma'am," he said, "may I see your boarding pass?" She handed it over with confidence. Too much confidence. The supervisor looked at the screen. Then at his tablet. Then back at the screen again. The man noticed something. The supervisor's face changed. Not angry. Not confused. Just serious. The woman noticed it too. "Well," she asked. "You see the problem now, right?" The supervisor took a breath. "Ma'am," he said, "your seat is 23B. Economy." The words hit hard. The woman laughed, loud and fake. "No," she said. "That's wrong." The supervisor turned the screen toward her. "This is your ticket," he said. "There are no upgrades. No errors." Her smile disappeared. "That can't be right," she whispered. Then louder, "I always sit in first class." The supervisor nodded. "Not today." The crowd reacted. Small gasps. Soft whispers. A few quiet laughs. The woman's face turned red. "You changed it," she accused. "Both of you." The agent stayed calm. "No one changed anything," she said. The woman looked around. She realized something terrible. Everyone was watching. And no one was on her side. She tried a new move. She pointed at the man. "He pressured you," she said. "He confused you." The supervisor shook his head. "Sir," he said to the man, "your ticket is valid. C2A is yours." The man felt his chest relax for the first time. But the woman was not done. "This is discrimination," she yelled. "You treat people like me differently." The supervisor's voice became firm. "No, ma'am," he said. "We treat everyone by the rules." The woman's hands started shaking. She was losing control. "This airline is a joke," she shouted. "I'll post this everywhere." The supervisor nodded. "You are free to share your experience," he said. "But right now, you need to calm down." The woman stepped closer to him. "I am not sitting in economy," she said slowly. "I refuse." The supervisor looked at her. "Then you will not be flying today." Silence. Total silence. The words hung in the air. The woman blinked. What did you say? If you refuse your assigned seat, he repeated, you will be removed from the flight. Her mouth opened. Then closed. She did not expect that. She looked around again. Phones were out now. People were recording. Her face changed from anger to fear. Wait, she said. Let's talk. The supervisor shook his head. We already did. She tried to laugh it off. You're serious? She asked. Yes, he replied. The woman looked at the man one last time. Pure hate in her eyes. This is your fault, she said. The man finally spoke. No, he said calmly. This is yours. That sentence broke something. The woman screamed. This is not over. The supervisor turned to the agent. Please call security. The agent picked up her radio. The woman froze. Her body went stiff. Security? Now it was real. The lie was fully exposed. And there was no way out. The moment the word security was spoken, everything changed. The woman's confidence shattered. Her breathing became fast. Her hands shook. But instead of calming down, she did the opposite. She exploded. This is abuse of power, she screamed. You can't treat me like this. Her voice echoed across the gate. People flinched. The supervisor stayed still. Calm. Silent. The gate agent lowered the radio but kept it in her hand. The woman turned to the crowd. Are you all seeing this? She shouted. This is how they treat loyal customers. No one answered. Some people looked away. Others shook their heads. The silence made her angrier. She pointed at the man. This is his fault, she yelled. If he wasn't here, none of this would happen. The man felt his chest tighten. But he did not step back. For the first time, he looked straight at her. I just followed the rules, he said quietly. That made her snap. Don't talk to me, she screamed. You don't belong in first class. Her voice cracked at the end. She sounded desperate now. The supervisor raised his hand. Ma'am, this is your final warning, he said firmly. She laughed. A loud, wild laugh. You think I'm scared? She said. I know my rights. She stepped closer to the gate desk. Too close. The agent took a small step back. That's enough, the supervisor said. The woman slammed her hand on the counter. I paid money, she shouted. I deserve respect. People nearby gasped. A child started crying. The man felt the tension wrap around his chest like a rope. He could hear his own heartbeat. The woman suddenly grabbed her phone. I'm recording this, she said. Say goodbye to your jobs. The supervisor did not react. Please stop, he said. You are causing a disturbance. She moved closer again. I am not moving, she yelled. That was the moment. Two security officers appeared from the side. Big. Calm. Serious. The crowd parted. The woman froze. Her phone dropped slightly. You called security on me? She asked, her voice low. Yes, the supervisor replied. Because you refused to cooperate. The woman's face turned pale. This is crazy, she whispered. Then louder, I didn't do anything wrong. One officer stepped forward. Ma'am, he said, we need you to come with us. She stepped back. No, she said. I'm boarding this plane. The officer shook his head. Not today. That broke her. She screamed. This is harassment. I'll sue all of you. She tried to pull away as the officers took her arms. People gasped. Some recorded openly now. As she was escorted away, she kept shouting, "You'll regret this." Her voice slowly faded down the hallway. The gate went quiet. Very quiet. The supervisor sighed. The agent relaxed her shoulders. The man stood still. His hands were shaking. He did not feel happy. He felt shocked. The dream of first class almost didn't feel real anymore. But one thing was clear. The storm had passed. And the final moment was coming. The gate felt different now. Quiet. Too quiet. The woman was gone. Her shouting disappeared down the hallway. Only soft airport sounds remained. Rolling bags. Distant announcements. The man stood there, unsure what to do next. His heart was still beating fast. The supervisor turned back to the gate agent. "Please note the incident," he said calmly. The agent nodded and typed quickly. The man watched their faces. No anger. No drama. Just routine. Like this kind of thing happened every day. The supervisor then looked at the man. "I'm sorry you had to experience that," he said. "You did nothing wrong." The man nodded. "Thank you," he replied softly. The supervisor gave a small smile. "Enjoy your flight." With that, he walked away. Just like that. No long speech. No extra attention. The problem was finished. The agent turned toward the man. "Sir," she said kindly, "we will begin first-class boarding now." She paused, then added with a gentle smile, "You may board early." The man felt a strange warmth in his chest. He stepped forward. As he walked toward the gate, people looked at him. Not with judgment. With respect. One woman whispered, "Good for him." Someone behind him clapped softly. He pretended not to hear. He handed his ticket to the agent. She scanned it. A green light flashed. "Welcome aboard," she said. He stepped onto the jet bridge. For a moment, he stopped. He took a deep breath. All the stress. All the fear. Still fresh. But he kept walking. Inside the plane, everything felt calm. Soft lights. Clean air. Quiet voices. A flight attendant smiled at him. "Good afternoon, sir," she said. "May I help you find your seat?" "Seat 2A, he replied. Her smile widened. "Right this way." She guided him to the front. The seats were wide. Soft. Comfortable. He reached his seat. 2A. His seat. No one questioned him. No one stared. He sat down slowly. The seat felt unreal. He placed his bag down. He looked around. This was what he worked for. A flight attendant returned with a drink. "Water or juice?" she asked. "Water, please," he said. As she handed it to him, she added, "Welcome to first class." Those words meant more than she knew. He looked out the window. Planes moved slowly outside. The sun reflected on the glass. He felt calm for the first time since arriving at the airport. The past hour felt like a bad dream. But it was over. The woman was gone. The noise was gone. Justice was done. And the flight was ready to leave. Only one thing remained. The ending. The plane slowly moved away from the gate. The man watched through the window as the airport became smaller. For the first time that day, he smiled. Not a big smile. A quiet one. He leaned back into the seat. It was wide and soft. Nothing like the tight seats he was used to. A flight attendant passed by. "Sir," she said, "can I get you anything else?" He shook his head. "No, thank you," he replied. She smiled and moved on. The cabin was peaceful. No shouting. No drama. Just calm voices and soft music. As the plane lifted into the air, the man closed his eyes for a moment. He thought about everything that had happened. The saving. The waiting. The hard work. And then the fear. The shame. The pressure. All because someone thought she was better than him. But in the end, the truth won. He did not argue. He did not fight. He just stayed calm. That was enough. He opened his eyes and looked around. Other passengers were enjoying their space. No one cared where he came from. No one questioned his place. Here, a ticket was all that mattered. The flight attendant returned with a tray. "Lunch will be served soon," she said. He nodded. As he took his first bite, he felt something deeper than comfort. He felt proud. Not because he was sitting in first class, but because he did not let someone else take his moment away. Somewhere back in the airport, the woman was probably still angry. Still blaming others. Still refusing to learn. But up here, above the clouds, she had no power. The man looked out the window again. White clouds stretched across the sky. The sun shined bright. He took a slow breath. Sometimes, victory is not loud. Sometimes, it is quiet. Sometimes, it looks like a simple seat by a window. And sometimes, the best revenge is just living your life in peace.